Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is MrRee, and today we're unraveling the chilling mystery of George Smith's disappearance during what was supposed to be the happiest time of his life, his honeymoon cruise across the vast Aegean Sea. George, a well-liked individual from Greenwich, Connecticut, had returned to help run his family's liquor store after a stint as a data mining analyst in Boston. He met Jennifer, a schoolteacher, in 2002, and they married 3 years later at the scenic oceanfront venue in Newport, Rhode Island. On this ship, newlyweds George Smith and Jennifer were enjoying their honeymoon. It was July the 5th, 2005, a day that began like any other on the cruise. On board, they got close to another couple and a young Californian named Josh Assin, who shared their sense of humor and love for adventure. Among these passengers was 16-year-old Emily Rouge from Chicago. But as she looked out her cabin window, she spotted something alarming. A smear of what looked like blood on the canopy covering the lifeboats. Nearby, there was another bloodstain on the edge of the canopy, suggesting that someone might have been injured and possibly fallen overboard. Shocked by her discovery, Emily quickly reported what she saw to the cruise staff. The cruise that began as a joyful honeymoon journey for George and Jennifer was in deep shock because of what they witnessed. On July the 1st, while the ship was near the Italian coast, the group went ashore to enjoy the local sights and cuisine of Mykonos. Returning to the ship, they continued their celebrations with a romantic dinner followed by an evening with friends at the cruise ship's casino. George and Josh played cards while Jennifer tried her hand at poker. They ended up losing a notable amount of money, but remained upbeat, joking about their losses as part of their honeymoon adventure. When the casino closed at 2:30 AM, George was seen leaving on security cameras, but never returned to his cabin. Deck 7, where George and Jennifer's cabin was located, was immediately sealed off by the crew. They conducted a detailed search of the entire ship, looking for any sign of where George might be. Meanwhile, Jennifer was found in the ship's spa, where she was having a pre-scheduled massage. She showed a mix of surprise and concern when she learned of her husband's disappearance. Jennifer mentioned it wasn't unusual for George to stay out late with friends, which is why she wasn't immediately alarmed to find he hadn't come back to the cabin. Investigators took a close look at cabin 9062, the couple's temporary home on the ship. The cabin was a mess, which could mean a hurried search or a struggle had taken place. Small drops of blood were found on the bathroom carpet and a towel, and there were additional fingerprints on the balcony railing. More importantly, 2 small but distinct bloodstains on the bedding were identified as George's. A crucial clue was the position of the chair next to the balcony railing, marked by signs that someone might have sat there. This just made the possibility that George could have accidentally fallen over strong. However, the presence of blood both inside the cabin and on the exterior awning also suggested the possibility of foul play. The Turkish authorities interviewed the group of friends who had spent the previous night with the couple. The friends reported that George had drunk a lot of alcohol and was significantly drunk. They helped into his cabin and left him there, assuming he would sleep it off. Notably, they mentioned that Jennifer was not in the cabin when they left George. Josh Askin, a friend of George and Jennifer, provided a critical piece of testimony. He claimed to have seen Jennifer leave the casino with a casino employee named Lloyd. However, this claim didn't match what was seen in the security footage and keycard data. The footage showed Jennifer leaving alone at 3:30 AM, while Lloyd returned to his cabin at 3:25 AM, verified by his girlfriend who confirmed that he woke her up when he was entering. Meanwhile, other passengers were also part of the night's activity. Greg Rosenberg, 19, along with his cousin Jack Rosenberg and their friend Rostislav Kaufman were enjoying the cruise's amenities. They were seen playing poker with Jennifer in the casino until it closed. Afterwards, they joined a lively group at the disco, drinking and dancing until the early hours. The casino manager Lloyd Botha was also seen with them. As the evening went on, George and his group became out of control and behaved strangely. The ship's crew refused them further service due to their loud and inappropriate actions. In response, the group chose to drink absinthe, a strong liquor that they'd purchased on the island of Mykonos, boasting an alcohol concentration of over 70%. George discreetly took the bottle behind his waistband as they continued their plans into the night. A janitor observed the group, including Greg, Zach, Rostislav, Josh, and George, consuming the absinthe well into the late hours. At the same time, Jennifer began to stagger and lean on Lloyd, the casino manager. The situation became worse when witnesses noticed a conflict between George and Jennifer, though it's unclear whether their interactions were playful or serious. At one point, Jennifer was seen striking George, but the intent behind her action, whether playful or out of anger, remained uncertain. Around 3:30 AM, Jennifer left the disco where they'd been partying. Later, a janitor saw Jennifer staggering along the hallway and assisted her to the elevator, where she headed in the wrong direction from her stateroom. She was eventually found asleep in the hallway far from her room. 2 guards and a duty officer helped her back to her quarters at around 4:52 a.m. But George was not there. At the same time, the deputy chief of police and his wife, staying in the neighboring cabin, were awakened around 4 a.m. by loud noises from the Smiths' stateroom. After a brief silence, the noise resumed. Then, in an argument on the balcony, and sounds like furniture moving, followed by a loud thud, as if someone had fallen. When Chit opened his door, he saw 3 unidentified men near their cabin. Other passengers also reported hearing unsettling noises at night, including sounds akin to a body hitting the boat's canopy and a woman's scream. It was uncertain if the woman was actually in the cabin at the time. Moreover, keycard records indicated that 4 of George's friends entered his cabin at 4:05 a.m. They claimed they left the cabin and did not re-enter. As part of the investigation, agents conducted interviews and polygraph tests with several individuals close to the case. Jennifer and the casino manager Lloyd Botha both passed their polygraph tests. However, Josh Askin, a friend of the couple, failed his test. In 2009, during interviews with the FBI, the responses from Greg, Zach, Rostislav, and Josh varied significantly. Zach Rosenberg and Josh Askin chose to invoke the Fifth Amendment, opting not to provide detailed responses. Greg Rosenberg claimed that they'd ordered food to their cabin as an alibi, but ship logs showed no such orders, and records indicated their cabin service had been blocked the night before. Greg was unclear about who placed the order, and suggested that heavy drinking made it hard to understand the couple's relationship dynamics at night. He also contradicted Josh Askin's statement that he had left the cabin after allegedly ordering food, a claim which he denied. Greg insisted that the night's events were deliberate, and anticipated that the truth would emerge eventually. Adding another layer to this complex case, Greg Rosenberg passed away under mysterious circumstances in December 2019, and the situation surrounding his demise remains unresolved. Authorities are exploring whether there's a connection between his mysterious passing away and George Smith's disappearance. The Smith family's relationship with George's wife Jennifer was not good. They felt that her being calm post-incident and her decision to settle a lawsuit with the cruise company independently for $1.1 million indicated that she might be hiding important details about the night. This settlement was viewed by George's family as a betrayal. The Smith family continued to push for answers, driven by growing distrust in the official investigations carried out by the Turkish authorities. They believed that the investigation lacked transparency and did not pursue all possible leads. To seek justice, they engaged Dr. Henry Lee, a renowned forensic scientist, to conduct independent investigations. Dr. Lee's findings were anticipated to provide critical insights into whether George's disappearance was due to an accident or foul play, although these findings were not initially included in the official report. The incident began with George possibly falling or being pushed from the balcony out of his cruise ship cabin. The balcony was quite high, making an accidental fall seem unlikely without external influence. Jennifer, left to remember her late husband, dedicated herself to charitable work in his honor. She eventually remarried, trying to move forward while still affected by the past event. Despite extensive investigations by the FBI and other independent efforts, no conclusive evidence or body was ever found. The case was eventually closed, with the official ruling being an accident. However, the lack of concrete evidence has led to many unanswered questions. The Smith family continues to search for answers, hoping to uncover the truth about what happened to George. The case eventually went cold. The fact that George's wife had to take the brunt of the loss at such an early phase is tragic. So, what do you think really happened to George Smith? Share your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more true crime stories.